Okay, just to check everybody's audio, everyone should check their volume. Heather, are you there?
I am here.
And Jennifer?
I'm here.
Okay, Jennifer, you sound a little farther away, but that's okay. Make sure everybody speaks up. Yeah, that's better. Welcome, everyone. My name is Alice Wolf. I'm the Marketing Communications Director at Madeira USA, and I'd like to welcome you to this webinar, which is called Tools You Can Use Every Day to Grow Sales, Mastering the Upsell from the Masters. We're trying something a little bit different today. If you have attended any of our webinars in the past, you know that we tend to stick to how-tos, producing better embroidery, working with specialty threads. But today, looking at the calendar, we're trying something that will either have a very positive effect on your fourth quarter sales or give you a head start on 2016 with a wonderful New Year's resolution. We're very pleased to be hosting two women who have spent their careers educating, sharing creative approaches to selling, and whose goals revolve around helping companies like yours grow and prosper. Heather DiPrato of ASI and Jennifer Cox of NNEP, welcome today, and thank you for sharing your experiences with all of those who joined us.
Well, thank you so much, Alice, for having us.
Thank you, Alice. We're looking forward to it.
Great. I'm encouraging everyone who's listening to type in your questions. Some we will answer on air, but all will be answered, and the full Q&A will be emailed to all who have attended. We are recording the webinar, so it will be available to you for reference, and we'll make a printed version available to you as well. Heather will also describe a free white paper promotion planning guide, which you'll be able to download to get you started. And at the end of the webinar, there will be specials offered from ASI, a white paper on mastering the casual upsell from NNEP, and a free shipping offer from Madeira USA. So please stay with us for the duration. Okay, Heather, I turn the program over to Heather and Jennifer.
All right, thank you. Well, this is Heather DiPrato, Senior VP of Distributor Services for ASI. I'm so excited to be here. I've been in the promotional merchandise and decorated apparel market for the past 25 years, and one thing is for sure, there is a lot of opportunity to be had. So we thought, as I brainstormed with Jenny and with Alice, we thought it would be really great for the fourth quarter to give people some actionable tips on ways that they can grow their businesses. And what we wanted to focus on today is kind of the art of upselling. And most of you probably have a sense of what upselling is, but it's classically defined as selling additional products or services to your existing customers. And the objective behind it is about not just increasing revenue, but also protecting your relationships and increasing the income from clients. So in other words, upselling is really designed to help you increase your opportunities while helping your customers and meeting their needs and keeping your business relationships with your clients healthy and strong. You may wonder, why is upselling so important? Well, upselling, it's not just a way to increase sales, it's an important way to solidify your business relationships. And when you're in a competitive marketplace like we are, being your customer's go-to for the branded items they purchase can really help your core embroidery business stay strong and vibrant and grow. And one of the things I like the best is that by simplifying the buying process for your customers, you really will become an integral part of their marketing strategy. And I think that there's a concern with many of the embroiderers and decorated apparel specialists that I work with. They say from time to time they'll be in somebody's office, they're delivering an order, and they see all these other products with that customer's logo, and oftentimes they're products that they could have bought from them. And they'll say, oh, where did you get that? Oh, I bought it online. Did you know we did that? Oh, you do that? I didn't know you did that. I thought you were the shirt guy, or I thought you were the cap guy. And being able to move past that productively and be seen as their partner in marketing is a really great place to be.
So this is Jennifer with NNEP. I am the president of the National Network of Embroidery Professionals as well as one of the co-founders. And for 20 years, we have been serving embroidery business owners and helping you develop business skills along with your embroidery decoration skills. So whether it's marketing, sales, pricing, how to find it, how to do it, what backing should I use, we're there to serve as a resource to help business owners accelerate their business, solidify it, increase their profit. So one of the best ways that I've learned over the years with our embroidery business is a 1-minute strategy that I would like to share with you. And literally, in all the times I've done it, it has never, ever failed. So I'll start with this one because it's so simple and clean. It only takes a minute. You can't go wrong. It's fail-proof. So one of the things I've always asked my clients to do, and this is after I've already closed the sale with them for the apparel items, and this only works if you're in their office, sitting in their business space, whether it's their home, their company, whatever. Ask your client to open their junk drawer in their desk. Do it yourself right now. You know, the one where you just kind of toss stuff. Open that drawer. I've opened mine. I'll wait for you. Okay. Here's the question. In 1 minute, how many items can you pull out that have a brand or a logo on them? Most people can find at least 3 within 60 seconds. The most we've ever had was a guy pulled out 27 items. 27 in less than 60 seconds. So right now doing it, I have a chapstick, a letter opener, 3 rulers, a scraper, a business card holder, and I can't even count how many pens. And they're pens that say hotel, different manufacturing facilities, and then NNEP pens, of course. But, you know, everybody has stuff that they keep. Now, why are all these products in our drawers? They have an inherent value or purpose. Oh, I forgot the tape measure and the nail clippers, the nail file from my local politician. There you go. So these things are things that serve a purpose. You can use them. They're not just something that's consumed and disposed of. They have functionality to them. Therefore, they make it impossible for us to throw them away.
Jennifer, let me interrupt you just for 1 second. If you could, a couple of people are asking that you speak up a little bit or move in closer to your mic.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see if that works better. Does that work better?
I think so. Yes.
Okay. So the reason these products are in the drawer is because we can't throw them away. They have some natural purpose. They're impossible to throw out if they're useful. I have a business card holder that I got the very first year I was in business, which was in 1991. And I still have it sitting here in my desk drawer because of the event at which I got it. I remember the event. It was something significant for me as a business. And here I am, still sitting here with this business card holder in my desk drawer. So invite your customer to get their company info into the desk drawers and onto the desk of their customers and their potential customers. Let your customers know that it's really easy to get their company name, their phone number, their website on something useful and lasting that won't be thrown away and in the hands of the right people. So it has often been said that it takes 5 to 7 times more to acquire a new customer than it does to retain an existing customer. So my question is to you, why wouldn't you upsell every single time you're in a sales situation to every single customer if it's easier to convince them to spend money with you than someone you've never done business with? And yet, the majority of businesses, the majority of the time, with the majority of your available marketing time and effort, you spend it towards new customers. And when you look at the upsell potential just sitting in everyone's desk drawer, it just doesn't make sense, at least not when you think about the massive untapped potential of your existing customers. don't worry about taking notes here. We're going to send you all this at the end, and I'll send you a link with all of the handouts from the stuff that I'm covering on these slides. So imagine the potential if you focused your time and effort just simply remembering to ask them, your customers, to open their desk drawer. It's silly how simple it is. Savvy and successful business owners are upsell masters, ninjas. They have strategies to extract more value from their customers, and they do this without exploiting them. Okay? So every time you leave the upsell unspoken, you're leaving potential dollars on the table every time. All right? So there's 4 big mistakes that every business owner makes that's not doing upsells. And the first one is you don't offer any kind of an upsell, even the desk drawer strategy, okay? The second mistake that people make is the upsell for salespeople comes across being pushy instead of helpful. And the sweet thing about the desk drawer strategy is it doesn't feel pushy. You look like you're trying to help them. It's super easy to remember. It doesn't feel spammy or salesy. The third big mistake is the upsell is not presented in a convincing way, so the customer just takes a pass on it. Right here, you're sitting in their office offering them how to help them create brand awareness by moving their product, their company name into the hands of their potential customers. So you're really offering them a solution that's quite helpful. And it has incredibly sticky, what I call mental peanut butter. It's really easy to remember for you to do it, and 2, every time that customer opens their desk drawer from now on, just for a microsecond, they're going to remember you asking them to open that drawer and look, simply because you had a kinetic experience with them where they actually moved over and opened the drawer while you were there. So now the company that you work for, your organization, is triggered to be remembered every time they open that desk drawer. Talk about mental peanut butter. It's super easy, super friendly, it's fast, it's totally coming across as a solution that will help them. And it opens up new opportunities for your business. Now, you've got to make sure you give them things that make sense. The tape measure, if there's somebody who sells custom countertops, for example, because a tape measure would be a natural product for them, mental peanut butter. We had a home builder who did all custom homes. He ended up going with blankets and Afghans with a big, beautiful welcome home script on them, and then a very small, subtle, tone-on-tone company name. Again, mental peanut butter. It was something that he thought was very valued by the consumer, his home buyers, but also made him memorable to them. So you want to give him mental peanut butter to pass along to his clients. You may be a discount carpet store guy that you're talking to. What about a utility knife or something for him? Relevancy is what will make this feel good to your customer and not seem pushy.
Jen, we have people that are interested in hearing what you say, and they're concerned about the consistency of the volume of your voice. If you could please, swallow the microphone if you have to, but just come in real close to your microphone so that we can hear you. We also have a question that's come in that I think we'll share now because several people might have the same question. Someone wrote in, I've said to my customer, did you know I can get those pens for you? And they respond with, oh, really? Where do you get them? And the person writes in, I'm not sure how to respond to that. What kind of advice would you have for that?
In that situation, I would absolutely say we will provide them for you. We outsource them right from the manufacturer.
Right from the manufacturer. Okay.
And then you're not dealing with a middleman.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah, you want to become your brand ambassador for your clients. They don't generally realize all the range of your capabilities. You sell so much more than decorated apparel. You have the option to sell so much more than just those shirts, hats, or jackets. Let them know that you are there for them as a full-service logo specialist. If they get their logo printed on it, you want a shot at it. If they have an idea of a product that they want to put their logo on, invite them to run it past you for suggestions. You'll know what products are available, what combinations will work well, what your logo limitations are, what the maximum exposure is that they can develop. We had a parade of homes, as many people in the industry know. I built a large part of my embroidery business by working with home builders organizations. So all the contractors, the drywallers, the painters, the finishers, the actual general contractors. And what we found was that with a little bit of creative brainstorming, we were always able to come up with a product mix that let them interact with their customers in a way that was very effective, yet highly relevant, and had long life. It didn't just get tossed the minute it went into the customer's hand. And so I always went at it with, my job is to make you look good. And if I can help you do that in a way that's easier, they will love working with you.
So I guess I'll jump in and talk a little bit about some of the challenges we hear from embroiderers. This is Heather again. And what really holds embroiderers back from doing the upsell is sometimes they just feel like it's a hassle, they're too busy, they just don't have the bandwidth to think about it, they don't want to learn something new, which is understandable. They want to stay really focused, and they think, well, if things slow down, I'll look at this, but right now I'm just really busy with what I'm doing. And what my thought is, and this is based on 24 years working with people in this marketplace, if it slows down, that's a problem. You want it to stay really busy. You want to stay relevant to your customers. And this is something that actually can help your clients. So, even though it is a little bit uncomfortable to do something different, I think that ASI and NNEP and Madeira, we're here for you to help you and to help make that process a little bit easier. I also have a lot of people who are just a little bit afraid, like, what's it going to cost for me to do this? Do I have to buy any special equipment? Or, what if I can't figure out the best products to use? What if I get distracted by it? So I wanted to briefly cover some of the things that ASI has been working on specifically for the decorated apparel market to make it easier for you. And, on the next slide, we'll see that we have at ASI a number of solutions that are really simple and they're intuitive to use. They're very much like just using any old website that you'd see on the internet. They get easily integrated into your business practices. But to Jenny's point earlier, to help you be more valuable to your customers and make it easy for you to support them, we have tools that are going to make you look like a superhero. And when we were talking before this thing, I know Jenny had a really awesome story about like her aha moment that helped her get in to selling more than just embroidered apparel.
Yeah, and I'd love to tell you about it. Thank you, Heather. One of the situations that we had was I was selling into a factory setting. A guy bought, a couple dozen shirts for a management team for a special event that was coming up. They were launching a new product, a new software application. And this is a national company, and they had a manufacturing facility near my hometown. So, of course, I was in contact with them trying to develop them as a customer for the embroidery business. And this is actually where the desk drawer strategy happened for the first time. As we were wrapping up the meeting, I looked at him and I said, so is there anything else I can help you with for this launch? And he kind of looked at me sheepishly, and he opened his desk drawer. And he pulled out one of those real small, thin, flat mouse pads with the kind of tough surface on them, the hard surface. And he said, well, I've been looking at doing something like this. And he handed me the mouse pad. And it was like a 4x6 mailable size, almost like postcard size mouse pad. And he said, I'm trying to find somebody who can make me gobs of these mouse pads because we want to send one out with every single CD for our customers to install this product upgrade, this software upgrade. And it had to fit inside or along with the CD case that was going out. So he was looking for something small, lightweight, flat. And I looked at him and I'm like, oh, sure, I'm sure I can find something that'll work for you. Of course, I had never sold mouse pads, but I knew I had access to my ASI system, which is called ESP, that I could go in and look it up. I could find solutions. I could get pricing. I could order samples. I could make this work. So I followed back up with my guy, Owen, and I'm like, hey, yeah, I've got some mouse pad options for you. So I came back, met with him. I offered him 3 different products, 3 different price points, 3 different sizes. One was one color, one was full color. One had a different kind of surface that made it a little thicker and heavier. So I gave him, a variety of choices to look at. Not even, I think it was 7, 8 days later, the fax machine hums, and this was back in the old days, remember, where, faxes actually came spitting out of a piece of paper out of a machine. The internet and email and all that wasn't all as seamless as it is now. The fax machine rang, and a little piece of paper came floating out of it. And my gosh, it had a $10,000 order for mouse pads. And I hadn't done anything except use the system, come up with some prices, show him some samples. I hadn't even gotten around to following up with him yet. And he'd sent in an order like that. And the coolest part is, every quarter for the next 8 quarters, that same order happened because it was a 24-month rollout for this product upgrade across all of their customer base. It was amazing. Now, the asterisk here that you need to hear, these are not typical results. I tried this Death Drawer strategy with I don't know how many other clients. I don't think I had one other that came through with quarterly $10,000 orders, but I sure had a lot of clients come through because I asked the question, hey, how else can I help you tell your brand story?
I love that story. Obviously, it's an amazing success story, and we hear things like that on a somewhat regular basis because the cool thing about managing somebody's apparel program is you already have their art and you already are managing their brand in one facet of their business. And what many people find when they ask that simple question that Jenny said, could you open your desk drawer and, what kind of things do you see in there? I did it, and I think I had 6 products in mind, which is slightly embarrassing given the industry I'm in, but I have a ton on my desk. But what you'll find is as you start asking your clients, hey, do you do this other stuff, or is there something else that you'd love to see your logo on, you're going to find out that there's a ton of opportunity, and many of those people are yearning for somebody who's local, who they can trust, who they can talk to and bounce ideas off of, because sometimes their only alternative is just going online and trying to figure it out themselves because they don't know who to buy it from. And what you'll find through your relationship with ASI and NNEP, we have lots of ideas. Also, the tools that ASI provides to the industry really help with sourcing and quoting. And they can make what might sound like a difficult project where somebody needs multiple items very easy to support. And you can also find maybe those items that you'd like to bring in to embroider that are not your typical. If they ask for, beanie caps, or if they ask for winter scarves, and, perhaps you know where to get them, perhaps they're looking for something specific. Our database includes about 1 million different items, and it's just super easy to search, just like going to, your local Amazon or Walmart or whatever that you're used to using online. The other cool thing we have, and this is brand new, is we build in a customer relationship management tool, which is kind of just a fancy way to not have to have Post-it notes all over your computer monitor or track everything in Outlook or Excel. It's a nice way to just keep in touch with your customers and know when their events are coming up and keep on track with, what is the status of their order, et cetera. And we've built that into our software, and it supports both the decorated apparel industry as well as the branded merchandise industry. I thought it would be fun to take a very quick look at the software I'm talking about just so you understand, you can visualize it a little bit more. And the software that ASI makes is called ESP, which is, it's a trusted business platform. You can do searches for things like, in this case, we had a brewery who was looking for some Pilsner-type glasses. You can go to ESP, you can find the product, you can put their logo on it, but then you can also have their logo appear automatically on all the other products in your search. This is really cool. It takes like 2 seconds. It's so easy. But to your customer or your prospect, you know, they oftentimes see a product that doesn't have their logo on it. You might wonder, why does ASI care? You know, you could certainly sell the product without showing your customer their logo on it, but our studies indicated that people were 80% more likely to buy when they saw their own logo on the product than when they just saw it in a catalog. So we want to help increase those buying opportunities and give you an opportunity with your customer to grow your business. So we've built some really cool, very simple, very easy to use tools right inside. And if you look at like an emerging market like microbreweries that use a lot of embroidered goods but also are looking for that other kind of swag, this is a cool tool to help you provide both of those things.
Heather, if I could interrupt you just for 1 sec, a question that came in that might be of interest. Is there a product that's almost a surefire winner? So if an embroiderer had an opportunity to say, would you like something else to go with that, what would you recommend as maybe the product to start with?
It's actually a perfect segue probably to what Jenny's going to talk about next. However, I would say that in terms of popular items, ASI produces a report that you should be able to get to online. It's called The State of the Industry. And we study what is most popular. And of course, every year things shift up a little bit, but to say pens are extremely popular, drinkware, extremely popular, of course, apparel. And so those are all easy things to talk with clients about because they use them, they have them. You know, they open up their cabinet at home and they have some travel mugs, or, you know, they have a shirt that a local company gave them that's screen printed, or, you know, a nice dress shirt that's embroidered. But they know what they value and what they keep. And I'll tell you what, pens are a great product still. I mean, even with all the computing we do, there's nothing that beats being able to write something down on a piece of paper when you need it. So we see it's still the #1 searched product category in our database.
And before we jump into this slide, I want to add to what Heather just said. In our research, we found that if they're buying decorated apparel, they're already at the top of the logoed items food chain, if you will. They've already purchased pens or magnets or letter openers or mouse pads or some other promotional product. They've evolved up the food chain of product categories to decorated apparel. So they're already at that point nearly guaranteed to have already made purchases of promotional products already. So while you may never have sold it to them, they are accustomed to buying it. They already have spent money on promotional products. So all you're doing with your upsell strategy is offering to fulfill that service for them. So let me bounce into this. Have you ever gone into a fast food restaurant? I know, there's a McDonald's and a Wendy's and a Hardee's and a, Swenson's and everything just down the street from the NNEP offices here. You go in, you order just the sandwich, because you're trying to be good, right? And then the cashier asks, also innocently, and this is where you cue the scary music, bum, bum, bum. Would you like fries with that? Then you're like, clearly I did not order the fries, so no, I do not intend to order those oh so delicious, but not good for me, delicious hunks of grease. But well, since you asked, yeah, go ahead and make it a, combo meal. And we cave. How often does it happen? More often than it should. So, but the funny thing is, and this is the secret of upselling, is we're actually generally happy that they asked because it gave us the excuse, the opportunity to get what we really wanted, which was that little box of those amazing fries. We got the burger as kind of the default. right? So when you're thinking about McDonald's, they have invested millions, literally, to discover the exact phrase that will induce us into this high-calorie behavior. And it is simply, would you like fries with that? And trust me, they've tried every possible configuration of that sentence. So you don't have to go over the top in order to upsell successfully. You have to keep it simple. And suggestive selling works, where they tell you what you're about to want. Would you like fries with that? So after you've gotten the golf shirt order, the natural upsell would be, well, hey, for the board of directors, would you like me to show you some dress shirts? Or if they order dress shirts, I'd love to show you the sweaters that match perfectly with those dress shirts. If they order sweaters, then you go into, hey, we have a fantastic line of jackets that complement those sweaters. May I show them to you? The jackets, then say, hey, are you going to need a line of sweatshirts to go under that? If they offer headwear, you've got golf shirts, towels, umbrella, coffee mugs, all kinds of other things that can complement headwear. The list of product possibilities is truly endless. The secret to doing this well is to make sure that what you offer is relevant to what they've already purchased. And the second secret to using this upsell strategy is that you have to wait until they make the first commitment. So they have to decide, yes, I'm ordering the golf shirts. I'd like 12 of them in this size, 42 of them in that size, 50 large, and 27 XXX or extra large. Once that order has been resolved, they know exactly what they want and they're on board, that's when you get to offer this suggestive upsell. If you come in too soon, before they've committed to the one first product, you can scare them off. So this is about timing, and this is about relevancy. And at the end of the day, you're actually helping your customers build a line of coordinated apparel and products. And one of the things that with technology today that makes it super easy is go check out a website like Pinterest. If you are feeling not, creative about the products that you could offer that would make a combination for it, go look at Pinterest for merchandising ideas for baseball hats, just Pinterest baseball hats. And you'll see gobs and gobs of things. If you look at sweaters or blankets or dress shirts, you'll see enough creative ideas there that it will spin out more merchandising ideas so that when you go meet with your client, you're prepared to do it. So one of the key ways to capitalize on the opportunities that customers present to you is you have to be a good listener. As I said, they have to place the order for the shirts. And even if they express an interest, but say they have no budget for jackets, for example, you can take note of that and come back to them. You can follow up with them at other times with the other items that they had interest in. You can do it by email. You can send them a catalog. You could just pop in and visit them. You can shoot them a quick note in the mail. Hey, I know, now that it's getting colder out, maybe we should get together about those jackets you were interested in. It incorporates the suggestive sell. It incorporates the fact that they already had a product they showed interest in. Send them these suggestions that coordinate. And this is how I worked with this guy, Steve Martin, who was a home builder here in my market. He started out ordering shirts for the job site, for his work crew. So they were low-end shirts because they lasted maybe one season. They were general contractors, so, hammers, nails, saws, wood, things got trashed. So as I realized how quickly he was churning through these shirts, I said, hey, well, I know that you and a couple of the other brothers, he and his brothers own this company, so I said, you and your brothers are going to talk to the customers I'm pretty sure you don't need to go talk to the potential home buyers in these shirts that get beat up pretty hard on the job site. Do you think maybe a golf shirt or a dress shirt might work, and that would work for you? And they were like, oh gosh, that's a great idea. So we did some nice twill dress shirts for them with the company logo on it. They finished a couple houses for the Parade of Homes. And I looked and I said, wouldn't it be nice at the Parade of Homes if there was like this lovely Afghan with Welcome Home embroidered on it, and then the Steve Martin Custom Homes logo underneath it? Even if it's kind of subtle, it's still going to enhance the experience of who built this home, where you're going to have 3,000 people coming through touring the Parade of Homes. And they were like, you know, that's a really good idea. Let's do that in every one of our homes. And once they started doing it for their parade homes, then they started doing it for every homeowner that they sold to. And then they had a gal that was, it was actually a wedding gift. The bride and groom had bought each other this new custom home as their wedding gift to each other. And they wanted to give them a nice set of monogrammed bath towels when they finished the house, because they were literally coming back from the honeymoon and moving right into the new home. So we did up this gorgeous set of bath towels for the main bath, the master bath. We also, it was a pretty high-end home, so Steve also had us order up towel sets that coordinated with the decorator of the decor of each of the other bathrooms in the house. The bath towels for the guest bath, hand towels for the half baths throughout the whole house. Then it got to be that he was always looking for the next thing, because we were always kind of presenting things to him based on what he expressed. We listened to what he was trying to do. Made a huge impact, turning him from a guy who ordered, 5 to 6 dozen shirts in the spring to a guy who ordered lots of stuff the entire year long, all through the process of suggestive upselling. Would you like fries with that? Simply because we paid attention to what he needed, what he was doing, and where it was going. So be a good listener. And the other way that we really found it worked with this upsell is position yourself as a time saver. When you have their artwork and you can send them mock-ups and information that shows products with their logo already on it and the pricing, and they can order anything they need all at one shot, you can be a huge value for them. I had one customer at the end of I think it was the second year we did work with him. He actually called me towards December and said, hey, I want to take you to lunch. Now, this is a reverse model, right? Normally, I should be taking my customer to lunch. He shouldn't be taking me to lunch. And I said, sure, I'll be glad to come and meet with you. What do you need? And he goes, no, no, no. I want to say thank you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So Brett, he scheduled there's a local Mexican place right down the street that everybody loves. So he took me to the local Mexican joint. And he said, I can't express how much I have valued doing business with you. And I'm like, what are you talking about, Steve? He goes, you saved me 40 hours of work time this year alone, and I documented it. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, every single time anyone else called me, emailed me, tried to stop at my business and sell me something, I said, no, thank you. He told me he gained 40 hours of productive work time by not having to do business with any of his other previous bits and pieces suppliers, by simplifying his life and giving all of that work to us. He knew he could count on me. He knew it made everything simple for him. I mean, to give a guy back a 40-hour work week, holy cow, I'd never seen it in that perspective. And he had been blown away at how much time all those little sales emails and phone calls and appointments had been sucking out of his productive work time. And when he worked with us, it was simple. He could just say, hey, send me some information about this. Boom, I'd send it to him in email. He was on the road, moving forward, not having to manage the process, because we already had his logos. We already knew what he needed. We already had all his colorways. So ordering everything from you, it simplifies their job, making their life so much easier.
Jen, a question just came in that that I think you might want to address. A person commenting on what you're saying and asking how the best way to get your foot in the door is to begin with. I think your point might be that their foot is already in your door, so there's not a need to approach them because they've got both feet standing in your door.
Yeah, and I don't know if the person who's asking that question is how to open the door for sales in the first place or how to open the door for upsells, because upsells is built around the fact you already have your foot in the door with this customer. How to get in the door in the first place for cold sales is a whole different process. It's not harder, it's not worse, it's just slightly different because you have nothing to start with. You have to create that relationship to begin the process. So I'm not trying to put you off, it's just that's a slightly different experience where you're trying to get into them in the first place to demonstrate all the different ways you can serve their needs to build their brand. And actually that's one of the things we teach at NNEP is how to become a brand building salesperson for your customers, whether it's an upsell or a cold sale, because that's one of your most valuable skills even if you don't realize it. And we teach people how to do that every day.
So I guess we're going to talk about really putting upselling into practice for your embroidery business. And recently, ASI has had a lot of companies, both from decorated apparel and traditional promotional products, come to us with what we see as an emerging market. It looks like microbreweries. I guess, hey, who doesn't like a nice cold one from time to time? We have found that the people who do also really enjoy embroidered apparel and caps and hats and such, but it goes a little bit beyond that. So if you take that local microbrewery who comes to you and says, we're opening up, we want to have some caps and hats that we can have in our little gift shop. They order 48 caps from you and they invest $12 each because they're going to resell them for 20 or 22 bucks in their store. And you get a nice order out of that. It's a $576 order. They order a few times a year. 3 times a year would be $1,728 in sales, which is not bad. That's a nice little order. What we're learning with this particular market is it's the tip of the iceberg. So if you're thinking about how to put upselling into practice, think about that client who orders something like caps from you, and then think about other embroidered items that might make sense for them. So if we go to the next slide, in this microbrew example, you're thinking about maybe what they need for their wait staff or what they'd want in that fan shop. We see that there's a ton of items in this industry that are embroidered or embroiderable, things like sweatshirts and, cool duffel bags and, uniforms for wait staff and aprons and, the checks that people give out. We even, in this industry, we see that tumbler. You're probably thinking, why is there a tumbler with all those cool embroidered items? Well, that has an embroidered patch that's slid between the 2 pieces of insulated plastic. There's a lot of cool things that fit right in with your embroidery that you can offer to your customers now. Then if you want to take it a step further, what you want to do is think about what types of items might help them develop brand loyalty. So what we've seen with these microbrews is they love giveaways. They love fan gear, and they'll do cool events. They might even have concerts at their location where people can win, like the grill you see here is something that we see them giving out, and beer steins and coolers and stadium blankets, or a little more upscale things like growlers and beer steins, or even just inexpensive giveaways during football season, like that little koozie you see there. So all these items are all available within the promotional merchandise industry, and they are also things that this particular market will buy. And they may buy all of them or just some portion of them, but if you're not asking that question, going back to Jenny's point from earlier in the session, asking the question about what else would you love to see your brand on? Then you might be missing out on some of these opportunities. And if you go to the next slide, I really think once you've kind of gotten it down to a science and you're asking those questions and you have clients who are trusting you to manage their brand, and like Jenny's example of that local builder, you are their brand ambassador and you are helping them bring that, that brand identity to the marketplace, then make it easy for them to buy from you. And so one of the things that ASI has innovated recently is this ability to build a store for your favorite client really quickly and, in just a few minutes, put something together that has the types of products they would buy from you either on a regular basis or you think would be cool for them. Build a store and, and allow them to make their purchases directly from you or just use it for ideas. Now, this is a technology that ASI brought to the market in the past couple years, and recently we added the ability to take products out of our database in like a couple seconds and then just upload your customer's logo once and see it across all of them. That's pretty cool. And for the people who are on this webinar, we have an offer for you to get a free store. Now, to the person who had asked the question about how do I get my foot in the door, these stores can be a great way to get your foot in the door with a, that white whale account that you've been wanting to do more business with or wanting to even start doing business with. So we can, of course, I'm happy to talk with anybody who has interest later about that. But if you are not a member of ASI and you join ASI, one of the benefits we'll give webinar attendees is we'll provide you with a free online store. And then if you already are a member, and many people on this call are, then if you renew your membership, we're going to make that same offer available to you for a new store. So I think that that's a really fun way to kind of put it into practice and to start making it more actionable for your customers to buy from you. And then if we just go to the next slide, kind of putting it into practice and looking at what is the financial reward associated. I talked about the things that hold people back are sometimes, will I get the ROI? Will this be worth it for me to invest my time and energy in? And the fact of the matter is I picked randomly 9 products that these microbrews we see buying at the quantities that they're purchasing and the rate and the margin that they're sold at. And if you were the cap guy who sold them their cap order, on that order you might have made $691 in profit on their business for the year for that one cap style. But if you did the caps and then you added some additional products to that, like the aprons, the key tags, the grill, just a handful of those items, you could increase your profit from a little under $700 to nearly $8,000. And that is really compelling. At the same time, you're helping that customer so they don't have to try to figure out who can get me all this stuff. It would be daunting for me if I was the manager of a microbrew to try to figure out where am I going to get all the swag that I need for my event and for my gift shop and for my fan page and all that stuff. What am I going to do? But if the person they go to for their caps can offer to handle it all for them, you take a lot of time and energy out of their job and you really do make their life easier while also creating some more opportunity for yourself.
So as we get close to the end of the hour here, let me wrap this up with you and give you a quick recap. To master upselling, you really have to pick a few things that you can become very comfortable with. The first, make it personal, and opening the desk drawer is one way to make that happen. Second, in the make it personal, is you have to understand what are they trying to accomplish with their purchase. They are not walking around naked. They own clothing. So they're not there to buy a shirt because they don't own a shirt. They're there to create brand awareness. They're there to identify their employees to their customers. They're there to recognize a factory of workers that have done an awesome job. There's something else going on than the fact they have nothing to put on from their clients. So when you've figured out the upsell process, you're really about understanding What are they trying to accomplish? And once I understand that, what products can I recommend that will help them achieve that goal? So pay attention to their needs, their true needs, not the obvious, yes, they're buying shirts, hats, or jackets. And then the products that you offer, when they are relevant to accomplishing that final outcome, it makes the upsell a natural happiness causing situation. The customer looks at you and goes, oh my gosh, thank you for offering that. That's exactly what I was trying to figure out would work. You're helping them achieve their objective. So be their brand building partner by, being there for them with the right timing, the relevant product, and use the resources and tools available to you to help you come up with these objectives to match. Use the ASI system from ESP, use the internet, use things like Pinterest to come up with creative things to give them relevant options. And at the end of the webinar, grab the link that I present so that I can send you all these notes in the Mastering the Upsell report, okay? Because I go into these in a little bit, so you don't have to remember it. And the other thing is you have to, again, relevancy. You have to offer upsells that make sense. If you're going to offer an upsell of free shipping, for example, make sure it's relevant to you as well. Did you get free shipping from your supplier? Or case pricing from your supplier? Don't give out more than case pricing to your customer. Keep it relevant to you as well as to your customer. All right? So go about it to save them time, and you're trying to make it easy for the customer, and that way they're going to come back to you again and again.
I agree with everything Jenny has said. I mean, Jenny is actually putting this into practice in her business, and when you look at the tools that ASI makes available to help you, we're your partner too. We work together with you to try to make upselling very simple for you. And I guess if you go to the next slide, we'll take but what ASI can provide you that you may not have today if you're not working with us is a single, simple platform for selling online, for coming up with ideas, for sourcing and quoting. We even do help with SEO, SEM, social media, and we do, of course, the customer relationship management tools. And the sourcing is for both decorated apparel and soft goods, as well as for the hard goods. So you can have viable presentations where you give people information on both the apparel goods that they can get from you, as well as the swag, the stuff that we looked at that microbrew was using. You can get it all in one single source, and you can present compelling presentations to your customers that help you generate more business. And I think we might have, our slideshow might have gotten a little stalled. So we'll perhaps...
That's okay. We can still keep going while they try to figure that out. One thing I want everyone to keep in mind is don't be discouraged if your upselling efforts result in an occasional success story. Not everyone is willing to pay more for a better product or to buy more product. That's okay. Those who do take advantage of your upsell will probably become some of your biggest fans, your most loyal advocates, and they're probably even going to tell people about you and bring you referral business. So all in all, it makes really good sense to strive to keep your current customers really happy, because after all, the only thing that spreads faster than good news is a bad reputation, as they say. So keep treating your existing customers right by upselling in ways that make sense, that fit their needs. It's a soft sell with the promise of a discount or incentive, special pricing, free freight. Focus on their needs, not yours. Tell them something you would buy if you were in their situation. So it's relevant how it suits their needs. All right? So present yourself as their branding partner with your apparel, your idea generation, where they want to go with their logo, and how to position yourself as their go-to. And when you do that seamlessly and effectively, you are much more than their shirt shop. You've positioned yourself as their branding partner. And as a member of NNEP, you can work directly with me to brainstorm before you meet with customers. It's one of the most valued member benefits that we offer, is a chance to kind of roll through some ideas, come up with how you want to present it in a way that's comfortable. So let me give you the website, since it doesn't appear to be coming up on the slide. So it's nnep.com/upsell-tips. So I'll do it one more time since you can't see it. It's nnep.com nnep.com/upsell, and then the hyphen, and then the word tips, T-I-P-S. All right? And Heather, you want to let them know how they can take advantage of your offer?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. As I mentioned when we were looking at that example that had the free online store for those of you who join ASI or who are renewing your membership to add a store to your capabilities, we have a special for webinar attendees, and it's good through 12/15. And so that gives you a little bit of time to take advantage of it. And what it will do is we'll provide you a license to build a store and training for how to build a store. It's super fast and easy to do. If you'd like to take advantage of it after the webinar, give us a call. We have a team of people who work specifically with NNEP and Madeira clients, and our phone number for that team is 1-800-546-1428. That's 800-546-1428.
And then Alice, do you want to let us know if there are any other questions that we could tackle here at the end?
Well, I can speak for myself and say I thought this was really, really helpful. Just talking to Jenny and hearing all of her success has made me even more motivated. And if there's anything we can do, I know that both NNEP and ASI really values the opportunity to work with embroiderers and help you grow your sales. We have tons of ideas. It's a great time of year to be asking these questions. And as you can see, the screen is up. It has the special offers available from NNEP with their white paper, and Madeira has, I think they said, a free shipping discount. And of course, we have a download, which is an event planning guide. It's a cross-selling guide. And we have the free store for those of you who join or renew your membership by the 15th of December.
Well, I guess we'll say goodbye and thank you, unless we can get Alice or Bree on here to let us know.
I think so. Well, thanks, everybody, for being part of the call today. We really enjoyed being here. I know we had a ton of fun putting it together, and we look forward to working with each of you.
And we'll try to answer any of the questions that we weren't able to hear by the documents that you'll be getting from Madeira afterwards, all righty? So keep the questions, send them in, and we'll see if we can get to them directly, okay? Thanks, everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you. Happy selling.